Morning, good evening, good afternoon. We made it. We made it. Like 50 minutes late. That's all down to me. Or maybe not.
Nah,
Not mentioning
nah.
anybody's names. But welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. 4 years and just one day, and it's been such a wonderful day, Matt.
Yeah, the technical fairies haven't been kind, have they? But do you know what? Let's focus on the fact. Happy birthday, belated birthday, and obviously happy channel anniversary, my friend.
Thank you very
4
much.
years, so congratulations, and looking forward to the next 4 years of content. I'm sure you'll have lots in store for everybody, and thank you for having me on, and
No,
great
thank
to
you.
see everybody in the chat as well.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So yes, today is the Easy Talk. It's the full house. We've got Brother Isaac, we've got John the Geezer Gooner, and we've got Matt the Voice on the Easy Talk. But you know what? We're getting to this one on the other side of this music intro. Yes, welcome back, people. Yes, another day, another dollar, another Easy Talk. And before we get this one, guys, make sure that you do subscribe. It says down there in the bottom left-hand corner, and help us grow and be part of the community. 4 years and counting. Where did all my hair go? Where did all my hair go?
You're not grey. You're not grey, Alex. It's fine.
That's following Arsenal for you.
Yeah. Tell me about it, John.
Actually, there's two of us with grey hair on this channel tonight, and there's two of you with no hair on tonight, so that's fine. It's balanced. It's equal.
Anyway, bottom left, John Geezer Gooner. How's it going, man? How you been?
Yeah, happy birthday, Alex, for your channel. Brilliant channel for all gooners to come on and watch. It's best one by far. Happy birthday. Yeah, I've been good, actually. I've got headbutted by the dog yesterday, if you could see it on me nose. So, sorry, I'm not looking too pretty.
Don't worry about it, Sterling. You're looking all right, man. You're looking all right.
Yeah, sorry for the technical issues, everyone. Getting here on time.
Yeah.
Thank God for the missus.
Yeah. Brother Isaac, how are you? How you been keeping?
Fine, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Actually, now that everybody is smiling that we've done this show after we won.
Yeah, good timing, huh? Really, really good timing. But listen, good to have you back on the channel. And last but not least, Matt the Voice.
Hi guys, great to be on. Thank you for having me back. Obviously the technical fairies weren't with us today, but we got there in the end. We're on, and like John says, great to see you all. And happy birthday, happy channel anniversary, fantastic achievement. And really looking forward to getting stuck in today about the Wolves game and everything Arsenal coming up. So fantastic, excited.
Good, nice one. So let's get into this one. Mainly, I guess we were talking about the game yesterday. There was a game yesterday. We were playing against the Wolves pack, the pack of Wolves, and I predicted, I hold my hands up, a 2-0 defeat for Arsenal. And how wrong was I? But I'm going to ask John. John, I'm looking at this here. This is the table. Can Arsenal really secure top 4 at the end of the season, John?
Well, yeah, technically they can, mate. Why not? If they win all their games, they've got a top 4, haven't they? I think West Ham ain't going to have it. They'll fall by the wayside, hopefully. Might even get a top 3. You never know. Yeah, that is possible. Win all our games in hand with 2 points behind Chelsea. You know, they slip up. Top 3. we were looking at bottom 3, weren't we? The beginning of the season.
What a turnaround, eh? What a turnaround.
But top 4, realistically, is it's game on, isn't it? It's got to be. If you're Arteta, it's got to be a game on.
Okay, all right. Matt, your thoughts? Do you think we could get top 4?
Yeah, I think John's right. I think it's technically achievable. Everything's positive at the moment. If we play like we did against Wolves and grind out results when things are tough, I think it's possible. To be honest, with the squad depth as it is, we're only in it, and I hate to be the pessimist because I do try to be the optimist. I am the eternal optimist. Technically, we can do it. I think we have the ability to do it. I think with the squad depth that we've got and issues that inevitably come our way in terms of injuries and definitely red cards, because that seems to be a hot theme at the moment. So we'll probably end up with half a squad, not through injuries, but through suspensions. I think everything would have to be pretty bob-on perfect from now until the end of the season for us to achieve that top 4 spot. Fingers crossed that happens. In a real world, in a competitive league, I'm not so sure it's going to be inch perfect for the rest of the season. I think we probably are going to hit a couple of average games along the way and drop points here and there. But I certainly expect us to finish kind of 5th or 6th, I think, this season. But top 4, doable, but not sure in the long run whether we'll do that. But I hope they prove me wrong.
Okay. Brother Isaac, top 4? Top 4? Top 4?
Yeah, it is achievable if we do what we did yesterday. We sometimes teams who are above us used to slip up, but we didn't take the chances. But yesterday we did. If we take our chances when those teams that are above us slip, then it is achievable. Given that we are just in the Premier League, we are not in FA, we are not in the AFL Cup, we are not in Europe. You look at teams like Man United; they are still in the Champions League. You look at Tottenham; they are still in FA. You look at West Ham; they are still in Europe, and they still have FA games. So it is achievable because we are just going to concentrate on one league.
Okay. But as Matt says, it's kind of dependent on the injuries and the suspensions. Was this really a sending off offence, John? 2 yellow cards in 20 seconds.
Technically, it is, but that ref should have used common sense. Give him a yellow straight away, stop the game, and then that would have never have happened. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have got the double yellow. The throw in and him pushing him, it should have been stopped straight away from there. But he just didn't apply common sense. I think Oliver is not exactly a fan of Arsenal, so like a double yellow, he's played to the letter of the law, and he's within his rights to do that, I suppose. But it's kind of killing football, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he should have got a yellow and left it at that. I see a worse tackle in that game from the Wolves fella. I'm not sure it was on there, but it was like a proper studs up in his legs tackle, which to my mind was a red. But the refereeing and the VAR system at the moment is just ridiculous.
Matt, for you, definitely a red card. Are we being biased? Are we being overly biased?
Yeah, we are.
Do you know what? We're bound to be a little bit biased, aren't we? We're fans of the club. I think individually, yes, there were 2 yellow cards. Technically, or therefore, it's a red card. Like John said, and I know Martin Keown obviously said the same after the match, that you have to apply some common sense. Really, exactly as John said. If you are going to give a player a yellow card, that should have been flagged up at the time, play stopped, and then obviously you give the player the yellow card, and then that second incident doesn't occur. I know he was playing advantage, and I think I've seen various tweets over the last kind of few hours and post-match that says there's a rule that really that red card shouldn't have stood because of the way the rules are set up when advantage is played. I think it's a really, really kind of tough red card to give. I think it's a bit, come on, apply some common sense. I think Keith Hackett, ex-referee, also said that there was a lack of common sense. So I think the general consensus is really that whilst technically, yes, he's given it, And there were 2 yellow cards in separate incidents that really that shouldn't have been a red card, and common sense should have applied, as John's mentioned. So I think we were hard done by. You know, it's tough to watch, but at the same time, you know, as Mikel Arteta has said, you know, they've been working on discipline, apparently. Apparently, he's run out of ideas. I don't blame him for saying that either, because what more can you say? You know, at the end of the day, we really need to stop as a team giving the referee any excuse to pull out a card. That's as simple as that. If Martinelli doesn't lash his hand out in the first instance, he doesn't get a red. You know, if he doesn't make a rash challenge the second time, he doesn't get a red either, because he's only going to get one of the yellows. So, you know, it's these silly little, you know, decisions that the players are making through either youth and inexperience and immaturity, or in Xhaka's case, just not learning from mistakes. You know, but we need to cut that out. We need to cut it out, because it's going to cost us. Yesterday, thankfully, it didn't. But there are going to come times where we lose a player and we suffer for that. You know, we've seen that against City, for example, when Xhaka went off. We can't keep losing players, especially when we've got not got any squad depth.
Yeah.
You know, we need everybody fit. We need everybody available. And, you know, these young players need to be really kind of control that aggression, control the passion, you know, temper it a little bit, and keep your head, because we're going to need you for the rest of the season. We can't afford players out for 3 games or whatever. So, yeah, it's definitely something we are not very good at the moment, and it needs to change.
Just slightly off topic, I mean, in regards to the positioning of Martinelli, he's always coming off the left-hand side of on the pitch. Knowing literally we're quite short on strikers, why can't we play him as an out-and-out striker? You know, literally just further up in the centre. Further up in the centre striking role. Couldn't Arteta, you know, should he not have done that? Should he not play Arteta, Martinelli further up front rather than Arsenal? Because once he receives the ball on the wing, he's having to take on 2, sometimes 3 players. So get him further up the pitch. Maybe starting point should be the central striker role, John or Isaac. What do you think about that?
I'd like to see him up front personally. Give him at least one go. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Lacazette can do that job. He's got too much on his hands. Made him captain. He's looking after all them young boys, and then he's kind of laxing on his own sort of job, if you ask me. Last night, I said to your brother, my nan would have put that one in the net. No jokes aside, you know what I mean? That, to me, that's got to go in the goal. Done and dusted, no excuses. But I think that's where he's got too much on his plate. Martinelli has got so much energy, so much pace. He was way ahead, too far ahead of the game, too far ahead of the other players. Let's just see him up there one game, maybe the next game, put him up. Well, I don't know if he's banned now for the next game, but the next one he's available for, give him a game up front. But I don't think Arteta will. This is his game plan. He ain't going to change it now. This is the way Arsenal are going to play. They're just going to grab a goal here and there and hold on to it. I think the creative football ain't going to happen. They need to qualify.
Yeah. Isaac, your thoughts? Was it red card offence?
If it were on 2 separate occasions or like 10 minutes apart, we will not be having this debate. But it was 20 seconds apart. And I'm going to ask us if for example, we're having a very skilled player or a very skillful player who's trying to wiggle around defenders, and then one defender tries to take him down, and then the defender is not able to take him down, but he skips the challenge, and then the second defender takes him down. In that case, the referee will give only one of those players a yellow card and maybe take the fall to one or the previous tackle. But you look at this case, it is only one player and he's given 2 cards, which I have never seen since I started watching football. I haven't seen anything like that. And we could say that we've been saying that VR has been biased, and right now I could say that there is also a biasness towards uh, giving Arsenal red cards, because you look at other instances of other referees or handling high-profile games, and they don't just dish out red cards, and they just control the tempo of the game. They warn the players, and then you understand the frustration will go down. But in this case, the referee chose to give us that red card, because he could have chosen to warn him, and then he could have just cautioned him or given him just one yellow card and told him it was silly of him to do that. But he chose to give him that red card so that we could go down 10 men. And Oliver is not a fan of Arsenal. We've lost so many games that Oliver has refereed, especially when we are playing against Man City. I remember there are games we played against Man City or Chelsea, and Oliver is the center referee to those games, and we've lost. And in some of those games, he's given a lot of yellow cards, and he's even given us red cards in those games. So I don't know. We've built a reputation for ourselves
I was just
to
about
be
to say
just
that.
handed red cards.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
We've
we've got
built that
reputation.
reputation to be handed red cards.
Yeah.
You look there are so many instances that we could highlight for other teams that we are not given red cards. For example, there was a Mason Mount kick on a player who was on the ground. He wasn't given a yellow card. There was a Sadio Mane elbow. He wasn't given a yellow card. There is a Crystal Palace game where a Saka was struck to the ground. There was no red card. So we could go on and on and on and on, but we are not ranting. We are just deducing facts.
But is it not a sense, Matt, literally, that we'll make it easy for the referee to give those cards, because
we've just dropped par, and we've made ourselves a mid-table team. That's why it is easy for referees to just dish out red cards or yellow cards. You see, in the case of Man City, when we were playing Man City, actually, there were fouls that were made against us, but there were no yellow cards. But the moment we foul a Man City player, we received a yellow card. So we've got to raise the par to be top, so that we also compete with the top boys. If we compete with the top boys, cards will not be dished out. So we have to improve ourselves.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't. A number of the cards that we've received, not everyone, but the majority of cards we receive, I don't actually disagree with some of those decisions. There are the odd ones that you think that's not right, and that's clearly not a yellow card, or that's clearly not a red card. But do you know what? I'd say the large portion of them I don't disagree with. What I really get frustrated by, and I think what we get frustrated by as a fan base, is the inconsistency that, okay, fine, you've given us a yellow card for that. That's how it's worked for us. Can't argue with that. But then, as you said, Isaac, and you've made a number of really fantastic examples of other games where similar incidences have not been punished, and you just think, well, okay, fine, we'll take our punishment, but let's just make sure that it's fair across every game, and that we get the same standard of refereeing everywhere, and we get the same decisions being made, even in the same game against us. For the opposition, it's not even consistent within the same game, let alone within other games across the league. So, yeah, it's a struggle. But when you know that as a club, and when you know that as a group of players, you are under pressure from referees, and you're more likely to get a yellow, or you're more likely to get a red. Common sense would say to you, as a group of players and as a squad, to go, right, I'm not going to give the referee any opportunity to give me a yellow card or a red card today, because I know damn well if I go in for that challenge, or if I do that stupid thing, I'm going to get booked for it, or I'm going to get sent off. So, the players are aware of it. The manager's clearly aware of it, because he raised it after the game that they've been talking about it at length over this 2-week period in Dubai. These guys have to learn. We have to give ourselves a break. Let's stop making it so difficult for ourselves, and let's stop making it easy for ourselves to be a target, because we're giving it to them on a plate. We're giving referees it on a plate to do. It needs to stop.
Matt, if you were Arteta, would you appeal against Martinelli's red card?
For that one, yeah, I would.
Yeah?
I think that is an example where I think you could justifiably go back and appeal that, and I'd be surprised if they didn't. Like Isaac said, like Arteta said, I think like most professionals have said over the last day, they've never seen anything like it. I can't remember that happening elsewhere. And common sense hasn't applied, is it? As John's mentioned, I think we got fair appeal, and I think looking at, again, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the chat and out on Twitter and out in the football world that know the rules of football in far greater detail than I. But having looked at some of the things that are being posted on rules of the game, it does look that technically that shouldn't have stood. So I would be surprised if that doesn't get appealed.
Yeah, John, do you want to say something?
Yeah, what I was going to say, what Matt just said about the appeal, what I've been reading is that you cannot appeal a double yellow. It stands, whatever. You've got a double yellow, there's no appeal. But it seems a bit crazy, and I might have this wrong, but what I've been reading through today, that's how it stands. And do you know another thing, with that Martinelli sending off, now Partey and Xhaka, they looked to me odds on like they were going to get a red that day. You know what I mean? That was I said to your brother, I said, one of them going off during that chat, and surprise, Martinelli went off. But what it is, their indiscipline is leading to guys like Martinelli to take it upon themselves to kind of do the same thing, It's a stupid sending off. That's a schoolboy stuff. It should never have happened. He's learned. He'll never do that again in his life. But the ref didn't apply common sense either. He should have thought, that's not a sending off. No way. But to the law, it is. But Xhaka and Partey, that game, they sort of led the way to what was happening. You could see that ref was going to send an Arsenal player off. He didn't look like he's sending any Wolves player off. They didn't get booked for none of them tackles.
So true, yeah, so true.
Trust me. But, same old suspects, they've got names for themselves now. And whether Xhaka's backing these cards, I don't know.
He loves the shirt tug, doesn't he?
But, seriously, Arteta, it's down to him to stamp this out. It's just stupid, man. It's stupid for the fans as well. It's ruining the game. All jokes aside, 10 men against 11. It's killing the game, isn't it? And they're paying for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but go on, Isaac. Go on.
Come to think of it, like a month or so ago, there was an investigation into an Arsenal player being sent off, that it was part of a betting, something of betting.
Yeah, don't mention any names, please.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning names.
X marks the spot. Yeah.
So come to think of it, are the referees also being involved in betting so that they send Arsenal players off?
You never know, mate.
It could be a lengthy topic if we dived into it, because come to think of it, 15 red cards for Arteta since he came in. The team that is following is Southampton with 8.
Yeah. So
we are leading by 7. Come to think of it, that is something that is so unusual. A team of our caliber, we should not be getting such amount of red cards.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, when the players were running out, actually going past the tunnel, none of the Arsenal players shook or even gave a fist pump to the referee, Oliver, apart from one player. Who was it? Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka was the only player that shook Oliver's hand as they were running out onto the pitch.
Make sure he bets on, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Got it in the 70th minute, ref.
Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right, I think what we do, let's go into the live chat and see who's joined us on this particular Easy Talk this evening. And we've got one of our moderators, the relentless DWTT. Good evening, Alex, Isaac, John, and Max.
Max? Gary, you should know my name by now. Crikey, how long have we been on shows together, my friend? Come on. Crikey. Maybe that's my American name.
It could be. But you know,
Mad Max, yeah, maybe Mad Max. Yeah.
Max the voice. hello, chat room. And I recognise this is one of your mates, John. Lucky Spurs.
Yeah, that's Paddy Mac, Tottenham boy. Yeah, get him off.
Yeah. Exactly. No excuses, he says. We've got another familiar in the live chat. The Assemble says, "Good evening, gentlemen." Matt, not Max. Matt, do you think Martinelli sending off had anything to do with the foul committed on him in the first 5 minutes, and the ref didn't book the player? He was fouled continuously.
Yeah, do you know what? There were a lot of tackles going in early doors, and he was very, very reluctant, wasn't he, old Michael Oliver, to get his card out. And you're thinking, okay, fair enough, you don't want to start the game by dishing out 5 yellow cards in the first 7 minutes. But as time went on, still no yellows, still no cards, and it just thought, this is a bit strange. But I'm not sure if it had anything to do with it. But yeah, for some reason, it just doesn't make that booking in particular doesn't make sense, or the sending off doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And like I say, there were a number of Wolves challenges which certainly warranted cards which weren't given. It was just a bit of a sloppy refereeing display, I thought. I think he couldn't make his mind up whether he wanted to give cards or whether he didn't want to give cards.
The hands were cold.
Great. Yeah,
in Red Card Shaka's case, he's just a clumsy oaf. Yeah,
it's a shirt pulling. It's a shirt pulling, Alex. Every time, it's because he's cumbersome. He hasn't got any pace. So the only way, if he gets turned, to be able to cope with a player, that has any sort of pace, is just to grab his shirt, and he gets into trouble with it repeatedly. He turns slower than the Titanic. He's just got no pace, and unfortunately, like I say, that's the only way he's able to really stop a player going past him. And that was the same.
Wenger said he couldn't tackle when he bought him.
Exactly. Yeah, stand up. You're banned from sliding tackles. Yeah,
but then
I don't blame them either.
Then why do we use him as predominantly as a first teamer? Because again, with Xhaka, he plays on such fine lines. With him, it's like. Yeah. You're on the edge thinking, what's he going to do now? And more often than not, it's a yellow card, and in the end, it's a red card. But why do we why does Arteta continue to play him, Isaac? If you know,
I had a chat. I had a chat with a referee over here, and he told me that referees are judges, and like the court judges who listen to every person's view in a view of exonerating someone who's maybe to be convicted, the referees are looking for simple mistakes to punish you. That is what the referee told me, that yes, they are judges, but with them, they are looking for the simplest mistakes to punish you. And that is what Xhaka gives the referees. He gives them the reason to be punished.
Then why do we continue to play him?
Okay, Xhaka will definitely go, but not soon. He will go, yes.
Yeah.
He will definitely go, because we've seen where we are coming from and where we are headed to. Years back, no one will have thought of maybe Arsenal letting Auba go. But the direction that Arteta is taking will either go horribly wrong or very correct. If it is very successful, credit to him. But if it goes horribly wrong, people will be on his case. But I hope it is successful, because he's trying to turn things around. He's trying to rebuild what we've lost. The other day I said that we lost the Invincibles, that definitely we cannot recover. We lost our character, that we can do better. We lost a style of play that we are building on. So if he's shaking things around, let him shake them, because right now it's like he's let go of almost all the deadwood, just a few remaining, so that he can bring in people who can compete for the badge.
Quick question, Isaac. Quick question. If he doesn't achieve top 4, top 6, is that failure? And with that, does it mean that we have to say goodbye to Arteta, or is he worthy of more time?
If he goes to 6, it will be an achievement for him. For him, it is because he has finished 8th twice. If he finishes 6th, it will be an achievement, given that it is he now has his own squad that he has assembled. If he finishes 4th, it will be much credit. Actually, we'll be celebrating that we're back to European football. But if he finishes 8th, we'll be going back to our ranting, because, as I said, I've been saying earlier, Alex, that if the most fans who can run the whole day, or the most impatient or the most emotional fans, are the Arsenal fan base.
Yeah.
We are the most emotional, because I believe most of the fan base were conned or were duped into supporting Arsenal by Wenger and Thierry Henry. So they were used to winning. So they supported Arsenal because Thierry Henry and Wenger built something. And now, since that went away, we've been suffering. We want to go back top. And if Arteta can give us that, we will be very happy.
John, do you want to say something? Say something, please.
Well, I think at the moment I was quite negative at the beginning of the season, so I'm still going to try and keep upbeat, you know. And we are in that 4th spot. Technically, we can qualify for Champions League. So Arteta's mindset has got to say, "Yeah, I'm going for the top 4. I'm going," and that's where we should be aiming for. Because let's face it, West Ham, Man United, Spurs, they're on the same sort of level as us. You know, we shouldn't be worried about them. You know, there's nothing I've seen to fear them personally. They ain't got much consistency. West Ham and Man United have got internal problems now, which, you know, is not looking too good for them at the moment. So, and all we've got is the league. Let's face it, we've got to go for it. My worry is goals. Where are they coming from? Where are the goals coming from? You know, Lacker's not a proven goal scorer. Martinelli's not proven. Eddie, none of them are proven goal scorers. So they've got to score from all over the place. That is relying on all of them to get goal here, there, and everywhere, I think. But Arteta, to me, he's in last chance saloon. As Isaac said, 6 will be acceptable to that board. I don't think it's acceptable to the fans. Some fans probably will accept that. I think Champions League is what they've got to go for now. And if they can't get Champions League this season, when are they ever going to get it? Because let's face it, we're all on a level playing field now with Spurs, West Ham, Man United. Wolves nearly crept in. We've got a chance to even overtake Chelsea. That's probably a bit unrealistic. But we're on a level playing field with them teams to get top 4. I can't see why we can't do it. And if we don't do it, a terrible season. And if we come lower than 6, Arteta has got to go. But he probably won't.
Matt, I know we've spoken before about this the last time you was on the Easy Talk. Do you want to give some thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, I think, you know, beginning of the season, I think I predicted a 6th or 7th placed finish. Like John says, I think any lower than 6th this season, I think he has to go. You can't spend 150 million in the summer, have all of this trust and everything put in you, be out of 2 cup competitions, be just focusing on the league, be sat in kind of 4th place, kind of halfway through the season, and then finish outside the top 6. I think that would be a step too far. I think at the moment, realistically, we're probably actually exceeding most fans' expectations for this season. So I think we should be pretty happy with how we're doing right now. But yeah, sixth as a bare minimum has to happen this season. We have to be back in European football. Getting back into the Champions League has its own pitfalls at this point in time in our kind of development or restructure, because are we ready? Are we ready for Champions League football yet? We all want it. We all want to be competing against the best, and absolutely right that we want to do that as a club. But we haven't got the squad yet. We're going to have to. I mean, if we do achieve that, they're going to have to go and spend big money in summer for us to be able to compete and be able to put on a good show in the Champions League, rather than get booted around a football pitch and be out of the competition within 3 or 4 games. So it's going to be tough, if we go into that top 4, kind of those top 4 places, and we get into Champions League, that poses its own problems at this point, because we haven't got the squad or the team to be able to compete yet.
No.
I would be quite happy with a top 6 finish this season, and then really pushing for it after a season of adding stardust over the summer. Yeah. I think we'd be in a far better position to compete in the Champions League and put a good account of ourselves. Like John says, at the moment, where are the goals coming from? Lacazette has always been a 15 to 18 goal a season striker. We've lost Aubameyang, who historically was our kind of, when he was hitting top form, was probably early 20s, was the bulk of our goals. Yes, Emil Smith-Rowe is adding goals to his game now. Saka's dropped off in terms of scoring. We haven't really got the goals in the team. Eddie Nketiah just isn't, to me, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans, just isn't the quality. I like him as a lad, but he's probably in a league above where he should be, or at least probably would suit maybe a lower end of the table team. Martinelli, like you were mentioning earlier, really, why aren't we giving him a chance up top? He's clinical enough. We've seen that he can finish. When he gets an opportunity in front of goal, he doesn't tend to miss. We've got players out in wide positions. We've got the Emil Smith-Rowes, we've got the Pepes, we've got, Saka out there. Bring Pepe on if you need rotation. Push Martinelli up top, and then use Emil Smith-Rowe and Pepe and Saka to rotate between them and give Odegaard that number 10 spot. I don't see why we put ourselves in a position where we're relying on Lacazette, who can't hit a barn door with a banjo at the moment.
Which is why it looks so glaringly, the transfer window. I'm thinking, the situation, the positions where we needed upgrading, and you didn't buy a striker, you didn't upgrade anybody in the midfield. So unless, Edu and Arteta are real geniuses, we're going to find out at the end of the season, aren't we? Because, again, where's the goals going to come from, John? Or Isaac, where are the goals going to come from?
It's criminal that they didn't buy a striker, in my eyes. They knew Alba was going out.
Exactly, yeah.
They didn't replace him, couldn't replace him, or wouldn't, but that's unheard of. Like that referee giving a double yellow, it's unheard of, playing the second half of the season without a striker. It's craziness.
For me, I watch Arteta do press conferences, and this guy is full of smiles. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you?
It's got to be, isn't it? Being fair,
you're smiling, and you haven't replaced, or you don't have a replacement for Alba. He smiles like someone who's sure he's finishing top 4. And I'm like, this man must be made of steel. But I tend to think his main target was Vlahovic. But Vlahovic wasn't ready to commit to Arsenal. So if his main target was Alexander Isak or Calvert-Lewin, he could have gone for them, but he went for his main target, who was Vlahovic, and he couldn't get him. So I believe he's looking for someone who's better or who's in the class of Vlahovic to bring him on. I watched him say that he just doesn't want to bring in players for the sake of bringing them in.
Yeah.
He wants to bring in players of quality, players who can improve the club. Sadly enough, we are not in a position to attract such kind of players. You see, twice now Juventus has robbed us players we've wanted to sign. First was Locatelli, now it is Vlahovic. I don't know next if it will be another prospect who comes up and then there is a Man City or a Chelsea or a Bayern Munich that we are competing. Right now, I can say if we want to sign a player and there is a Man City or a Chelsea intending to sign him, they will choose to go to all those other places rather than come to Arsenal. But if we finish top 4 without any of those, they will be willing to come, because if we finish top 4, they'll be like, okay, so they can finish top 4. What if I go to them? Then we can improve on that. So if you want to sign top quality players, then target number 1, we finish top 4. We don't finish top 4, we can't compete with the likes of Juventus or Man City.
But I know this route is a lot difficult. Why not, if we do secure a European spot, we win the Europa League, and we go into the Champions League with some pedigree, because we're deserving to be there. But as Matt said, go on.
Going into the Champions League for us next season, Alex, if we do not go into the market and buy 5 or 6 players, we'll be hammered. So if we finish top 4, Arteta has no option but to go into the market and bring on like 5 or 6 new players. I don't know if he'll have the finance to do that.
And that's it.
If he hasn't if he doesn't have the finance to do that, then top 6 is good for him, or number 5, so that we go into Europa League. That is where we can fight and then go into the Champions League with pedigree, as you've said. But if we go into Champions League as fragile as we are right now, Bayern Munich will hammer us 8. We get, maybe we are in the same group with Sporting Lisbon. They hammer us 7. We'll be really hammered.
Thank you, Isaac. Anyway, yeah.
That's got a downer on it.
You know, he's right though, because the transfer. You know, both John and Isaac have mentioned about the transfer window not bringing in the striker. You know, and how can we expect? We need to be pushing for top 4, because if our realistic ambitions long term are to play Champions League football, even if that's next season, the here and now, and the fact of the matter is, if you're planning, if they haven't brought in a striker in January because they're planning to do that and go big in summer, you need to be finishing top 4, really, because how are you going to attract, the real world-class strikers that you're going to be trying to go fishing for and compete with the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, all those kind of teams? How are you going to compete with those if you're languishing down in 6th or 7th? You need to be pushing up in those kind of top 4 places. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I think you just have to finish as high as you possibly can and hope that in the summer they go and spend big.
But Matt, is he really trying to push for top 4? Is he really?
I don't know.
I just think with the news about him apparently or allegedly they're going to offer him a contract. I think he's probably thinking, well, whatever I do, my job is safe anyway, because they're going to offer me a contract.
I think personally, Alex, that they're quite happy as a club to see us finish in the top 6.
Yeah.
I think they're very happy with Arteta at the moment because he's exceeding expectations from the beginning of the season. So I think that's probably why they're inclined to give him a new contract.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot can happen between now and the end of the season, but I think that's probably wise because we're seen at the moment to be exceeding expectations. But like I say, you're buggered if you do get into the Champions League because it means they're going to have to commit financially to spending a lot of money. But you're damned if you don't, because then you can't attract those top quality players to get you into that position next season. It's a bit of a slippery slope, isn't it? And the longer it happens and the longer you finish outside of those top 4 places, the harder it becomes to rely on your reputation and your history to get you those players. And we're in that position now where we're kind of hitting that period of time now where you can't go, well, we've won this trophy and that trophy and this is the history of the club, because that period of time now is so far back that, a lot of these younger players, we've probably never heard of some of the players that we, when you're saying, oh, well, we've had this player at the club and this player at the club, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, those younger players would be, oh my God, yeah, wow. Now, a lot of those younger players may never have grown up with those players that were famous at Arsenal Football Club, and that's no longer a draw. So, you lose that pulling power now.
And
so the only
trouble.
it is.
Some of the fan base have got used to mediocrity, and some of the club have got used to it.
Yeah.
As Matt said, you can't keep banging on about the Invincibles and we've won the FA Cup for record times, because time's running.
You're as good as your last game, Alex. You know what I mean? You're literally as good as your last game, and
absolutely, yeah. Does anyone know, if we did secure top 4, at what point do we get the money from the Champions League? Do we get it at the end of the run, or do we get it the moment we've qualified for Champions League?
Good point. Good question, that. I don't
know, but Kroenke would be on it, wouldn't he?
That pays for another 500 acres on his ranch, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Do you know what? Does it, Kroenke, even care about qualifying? As long as Europe, you know what I mean? I say he's probably quite happy to qualify at the top 8,
Yeah.
I don't think he'd bat an eyelid if we didn't, personally, because like you say, he's got to spend more money if we do qualify, isn't it? I know they're going to get money. I'm not sure how much you get for the top 4, but once you're in it, like you say, 6 players minimum. I would say they've got to spend. And all this talk about players they're buying in the summer is totally ridiculous. I think it's like patronising to Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? Who wants to know what they're buying in the summer? We needed players January. You know what I mean?
You bought an American keeper, John.
Huh?
You bought an American
keeper. Fair play to him. But I mean, he ain't playing till the summer either, is he? Do you know what I mean? He ain't playing till the summer. But it just seems crazy. It's like they're trying to blind you with science. Oh yeah, we're going to buy all these players in the summer. Yeah. Let's get a few fans buying their season tickets now. Do you know what I mean? But Alex, I think Colin on his ear said, top 4. It ain't really a good thing to win. Do you know what I mean? Top 4 is not like a trophy. It's a It's a monetary prize for the club, which they need to go forward. Arsenal need that top 4 position to get players, to buy players or get players of class that are going to come to Arsenal. At the moment, that transfer market's proven no one wants to come to Arsenal, really. For one, they ain't going to pay them the wages they deserve, and they ain't going to win the trophies they want. And also, these young lads, if they don't get a top 4 spot, I'm assuming these young lads are ambitious. They're going to want Champions League, and they'll start looking like people like Zaka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. You know what? Yeah, I think the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah,
that's the worry to me. We're going to lose these young lads we've got come the summer if we don't qualify. If we don't qualify the top 4.
But would you blame them, John? Would you blame them if they wanted to leave Arsenal? Would you blame them?
No, I wouldn't blame them at all if they're ambitious. But what I'm saying as well, if he don't qualify at the top 4, in my opinion, out the door, Arteta. With this club, he just carry on. Top 6 will be acceptable for him.
Yeah.
I think top 8 would be acceptable for him.
Yeah.
But for them young players, I think they'll start looking elsewhere. Personally, as loyal as they say they are, money and trophies talk. You know.
Isaac, here's a comment here from DWTT. Isaac, you have too much confidence in Arteta that will do the right thing for the team.
It is saying that I'm so.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, go on, Isaac. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But Bilutiti is saying that on Arteta, it is, yes, I have confidence on him because he's my manager. And I believe he will do good. So we've got to support him because he's what we've got. We have got to do good by him because he is what we've got. He is our manager. We can't be fighting him, and we are his supporters. We are on his case every day, and the other teams are also in his case. We've got to support him so that he also gets that confidence to go ahead. But I know he will do good. He is a young manager. He's learned some of the things the hard way, and I know he is improving in some aspects. For instance, I can say the last 2 seasons, if we went down 10 men, we were hammered 5 goals or 4 goals. But you look at it this season, we are going down 10 men and we are playing the best football. And someone was making a joke and saying that Arsenal should be playing 10 men because we play the best when we are playing 10. Now you can, yeah,
it's better without the X-Man, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, two or three seasons ago, if I saw us get a red card, that will be the end of us. Probably even the Man City game, if Arteta was on the pitch, we could have won that game because we are playing the best right now. So I want to give Arteta the benefit of a doubt that he'll do good, but let him invest. Let him not fool us that he's bought a backup keeper who's not in his profile. We know his profile is 24 years and below. He's brought in a keeper who's 27 years. So that was a buy to fool us because Leno is probably going. So if I was to list each and every position that we need to strengthen, we need to strengthen like all the positions. Because right now, if you look at Tomiyasu, he doesn't have a decent cover. If you bring in Cedric, the game plan changes. If you look at the way we were set up yesterday, it was different from how we set up when Tomiyasu is on the field. We've got to bring on someone who will be a Xhaka replacement. And if we have a Xhaka replacement, then we should have a backup. Because if we are going into European football, we'll be having so many games. If you go up top, we need to bring in like 2 new strikers. Because if Lacazette is going, and Ketia, I'm sorry to say we'll have to let him go. If he's dragging that he wants something more, sorry, we have to let him go. We need 2 more strikers. We need backup wingers. Because right now we have our only backup is Pepe, and I don't see where Pepe fits in Arteta's plan. So we need like a minimum of 6 new players. We need Saliba to come back, but I don't see a way for Guendouzi back. And something that I have been thinking about: will Maitland-Niles come back if he feels comfortable at Roma? I don't see him coming back. He might say he wants to stay at Roma if he's comfortable there. So we really need to invest or to bring in new players. That is what we should do. A question before I wrap up. There are so many players who are sitting on the Man City bench and are not complaining because they are in European football, because they are playing Champions League. There are so many players who are on the Chelsea bench and they are not complaining that they are not getting game time. There are so many players because yes, they are getting money. They are in European football and they are being paid big for that. So if we were playing Champions League, we could be having so many players with us. We could be having so many players to rotate because they are comfortable to be here because they are playing Champions League football.
But Isaac, I think, to pin all your hopes on a summer transfer window to buy, like I said, we need like 6 players. I just can't see Arsenal signing new players, 6 new players in a summer transfer window. I mean, if you even out the load, if you brought 1 or 2 players in the January transfer window, and maybe come the summer transfer window, you brought like 3 more players, that would have been fine. But it's so top heavy. 6 players to buy 6 new players in a summer transfer window. I just can't see Arsenal doing it. I can't.
We need like 6. We need like 6, but I see them doing 4.
They need 2 strikers, don't they? So where are they coming from?
It's not going to happen.
2 world-class strikers.
The thing is, though, guys, I think I can see it happening, but the structure of what we bring in will be interesting because last summer we brought in 6 players. So we've done that. Was it 6 players that we brought in? So they've done it. They've done it. I mean, we've seen a lot of players coming and going in the last 2 windows. So I think the numbers isn't a problem. I think they'll be happy to bring in 6 players, but it's what they spend on those 6 players will be interesting, where they allocate those funds. Because are they going to go and buy 6 world-class players? No.
Yeah.
They might buy a world-class striker and a world-class centre mid, and then that'll take up the bulk of your budget, and then they'll pad out the rest of what they're allocated to spend on, another backup right back, like you say, maybe a replacement for Pepe, etc. So I think we're probably likely to see, you could see 6 players, 2 world-class, and maybe three kind of good, solid, but not very expensive backups in other areas. That's the only way I see them buying that number of players, to be honest with you.
I can't see it, Matt, really. And if you say that's going to be the strategy, then we're going to be papering over the cracks again. Bringing players who are not quite tried and tested in those areas, and then we're going to start the whole cycle again. We're lacking in this area. We didn't upgrade sufficiently in that area. Wait for another transfer window. It's just the ever-decreasing circle, isn't it? Sorry, John, did you want to say something, John? Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that photo with Kroenke and Arteta said it all. It told you Arsenal's ambition, you know what I mean? He went there with a begging bowl. Kroenke said, nah, see you later. You deal with the cards you got, mate. Lack of ambition on Kroenke's part, because he should have had a main striker in that team now.
Yeah.
Why leave it to the end of the season when you need one now? If you're running the club as a business and you get rid of your Rolls Royce, you don't place it with a Mini Cooper, do you? You know what I mean?
Well, you do if you're Arteta.
Well, he ain't even replaced it. I'm not being funny. He's not been replaced, is it?
Yeah.
So we're just living on a wing and a prayer, and the fans ain't got a main striker to support or watch. And that's what the game's about: entertainment. Do you know what I mean? That we're all just hoping goals are going to come from God or someone, you know. They're just going to
get the wind all blowing in.
Yeah, exactly. That was a lucky goal anyway, wasn't it? Seriously, fair play to him, but that ref could have well have disallowed that goal. It was a very scrappy goal, you know. He got it, and we needed it, but how many other shots did we have?
Well, this is the thing, you know, and Wolves look credit to Wolves. You know, they were dangerous, and they looked good on the attack. They had a good couple of shots that went whistling past the post. You know, dangerous crosses coming in. Thankfully, which we were alert to. We didn't really create a lot. We had a few opportunities, like you say. Lacazette had Saka's little dribble in was fantastic. You know, jinxing in and out of defenders, causing problems. And also you ball into Lacazette, which, you know, you just knew as it fell to Lacazette, he wasn't going to put that away. You know, we just haven't got a striker who's able to take those chances, and we're not going to be able to score a huge amount of goals. You know, Lacazette up the other end, you know, I mean, I think actually credit needs to be given to the goalkeeper, actually, because although we're saying that, you know, Lacazette missed that shot, the goalkeeper came rushing out, made himself big, closed the angle down, all things that you're taught as a goalkeeper to do. And he made it difficult for Lacazette and pressured him into taking that shot earlier and putting that wide. So I think the goalkeeper did well there. So to give credit to him, but we should be finishing that opportunity. And I do think that Martinelli probably would have put that away. I mean, it wasn't a million miles away, but those are fine margins. And in another game, you know, in maybe against Brentford, that could be the difference between all 3 points or a point. You know, and this is what we're dicing with now, isn't it? But do you know what? We ground out a win, and what I'm so happy to see at the moment is, you know, okay, fine, we're really struggling to score goals, but the unity, the organisation, and structure we show as a team, as a unit, is fantastic. You know, our defense, it's like, you know, I don't know if you've seen like old school kind of training clips of, you know, Adams, etc., the famous back four. You know, they're on a rope almost, and they move together as they move forward and backwards as a unit. They all know where each other are. They cover each other. They know exactly where to be at the right time. You know, I can't remember the last time I haven't jumped behind the sofa biting my nails when anybody attacks our 18-yard box. You know, and for the first time in years, I don't have a nervous breakdown every time someone attacks our 18-yard box anymore, because, you know, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, Tierney, they're all there. They're all solid as a rock. They've all got each other. They're covering each other. They very rarely make silly mistakes. You know, Ramsdale's in behind, mopping them up and organising them. That is amazing to see, and I think Arteta deserves a lot of credit for our defensive abilities and our kind of the structure he's given us and the organisation. And I think that has kind of gone through the team. So defensively, we're much more structured and organised. But we've gone from a team, we've completely flipped as a team. We've gone from a free-flowing attacking team who can score goals for fun but leak them like a leaky bucket down the other end, to now being really solid at the back but having absolutely no goals up front. And I think, you know, once we get that striker or that magic player up top who can finish their dinner, I think we'll be rocking and rolling. And it's the real missing link for us at the moment. Yes, a centre of midfield can be a problem when Jack is out, although Jack is not the best centre midfielder. He's our best option with Partey at the moment. As soon as he goes, we do miss him, sadly. Stanley's not quite ready to play that spot full time just yet. But yeah, I think we're just missing the goals element, and we'd be hitting the ground running, I think. So yeah, it's like Isaac said, you know, Arteta is learning from mistakes. He's a rookie manager, you know, but I think we are moving in the right direction. This result, I think, shows a lot of what's good about this team. There were elements of what's not so good in terms of the ill discipline and not being able to finish chances, but there were a lot of positives to take from this game, because on another night in another season previous, we would have completely collapsed. You know, like Isaac says, you know, you lose a man, you fold, and we end up, you know, giving away 3 silly goals or having another sending off because Partey and Jack could get another yellow. I think that was a real key game this season, and you could see the unity at the end of the game. I mean, I love seeing that passion. Ramsdale, White, you know, Gabriel. I mean, Gabriel's a monster. I love it. He's a big, towering, physical centre back, and he's intimidating. How long have we needed that? We need a player. We've needed a player like that. You know, since the Vieira days, we haven't had an Adams and things like that. We've not had an intimidating player like that. And as soon as he starts getting his English up to real scratch, I think he's real captain's material. I mean, I've been pushing for Tierney myself, but do you know what? I'm kind of edging towards seeing his performances and how consistent he is. And he's always fit, always there, always fighting. I think the only thing for me that holds me back is possibly his English. But I think if he gets his English up to scratch, he's got to be a real contender for captain.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we'll come to an end on this easy talk, but I just want to quickly ask you guys, who was your man of the match, John, for the game yesterday? Who was your man of the match?
Man of the match, Zaka for staying on.
He's learning. He's learning.
Yeah. Nah, seriously, Ramsdale.
Yeah.
I think he kept us in it towards the end.
Yeah.
A couple of crucial saves there, but yeah, another good team performance. Yeah, like I said, they're all kind of man of the matches in that game. They had to be, didn't they? But I'll go to Ramsdale at a push. And you know what? Like what Matt was saying, we got a lot of clean sheets as well. I know we ain't scoring goals, but defensively, we are sorted. It's that top third now needs touching up. You know what I mean? Something needs sorting out with it. I'm not sure what. Goals, isn't it, mainly? You know, goals are your best form of defence.
Yeah. John, very quickly, do you think with 16 games to go, the points are more important than the performance?
Yeah.
Because we all want to see free-flowing football, but...
Points make prizes, didn't they? But yeah, no, they need points, don't they? You know, at all costs. And another little thing, they're getting bullied, Martinelli and Zaka. Someone needs, like you say, for that Gabriel to sort these fellas out, because they've been targeted. Every game I'm seeing now, they've got men on straight away on Martinelli and Zaka, Smith Rowe. Just knock them out. And they're getting away with it. That's what's annoying me. They are getting away with it. I'm watching bad tackle after bad tackle. They're getting away with it. They need someone to run up to them players and say, boy, mate, sort it out, which you'll have me to deal with. You know what I mean? They ain't got that. You'd think someone like Zaka would do it, but obviously he ain't.
Yeah. Isaac, your man of the match.
Ramsdale. But I give a shout to Rob Holding. He knows how to defend tight spaces.
Okay, cool. And for you, Matt, who was your man of the match?
Yeah, do you know what? Ramsdale's a great shout. Holding as well. Actually, it's a really good point by Isaac, because Holding, I didn't even realise he came on, but he was absolutely immense watching that back. He did extremely well, and he's definitely a contender for that. Do you know what? For the fact he got a goal, I thought he was monstrous last night. I think Ramsdale was a close second for me, but I'm going to give it to Gabriel, actually.
Yeah. Brilliant. Nice one. Well, anyway, that's it. That's the end of another Easy Talk on Cannon Foyer TV. I've got to thank everyone who came into the live chat. Unfortunately, I didn't get to read all the comments because the conversation, the debating was really, really good, of a high quality. So I'm sorry, guys, for that. But also, a big thank you to John the Geezer Guna for coming back on Cannon Foyer
TV. Happy birthday, Cannon Fodder. Where's that cake, Alex?
Well, my brother's got it, hasn't he? Down in Wales.
He's got my Zaka's house with it.
I was expecting a little party hat today.
Yeah,
I probably should say that, Matt. No. Brother Isaac, thank you. Thank you so much again, coming back on Cannon Foyer TV.
My pleasure to be here.
Nice one. I can hear your voice is going a bit, isn't it, Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And Matt the voice, or is it Max the voice? Matt the voice.
Max. Yeah. Gary has corrected himself. No, thanks for having me on. Great to see John, Isaac, and yourself, Alex. Again, happy birthday and congratulations on your 4th anniversary. And great to see everybody in the chat.
Brilliant.
Good show tonight. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. So again, guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning, giving you some more live news, talking about Arsenal. Yeah, about Arsenal. And until then, have a wonderful evening, or maybe afternoon or night, wherever you are in this world. And you have been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.